Hello everyone, it's Betsy from Time Enough. Welcome to my channel. Today I finally am getting around to sharing my gingerbread house for Roxy's Christmas Journal of Stitchery. I have to admit that my heart wasn't really into this page. I did it and, it turned out fine. But I guess it's certainly not your typical gingerbread house, but it took me so long to get motivated to do it. I've got a lot of other things going on right now, and I'm just kind of busy with life and, the daily things, and we have a wedding coming up, and then going away in December. I'm just, my head isn't in this journal right now, but I did want to share what I made and what I used. And the first thing I looked at a lot of brown fabrics, brown wool to use for gingerbread, but for some reason I just love this antique fabric that I have, and you can see it has these little cute little geometric boxes all over it, and I don't know, it just seemed appropriate to me. So that's what I used for my little house, and I used some old gingham for the windows. This is old handmade string I used, and I did use a little piece of red wool for the door, and a little bead for the knob, of course. These are some old little sequins that I had, and I just thought they were so cute. So I made those into little flowers and stem stitched the stem and leaves. And I added this piece of eyelet lace that I had for the roof, and just put a little red wool heart there and did a blanket stitch around that. And I used some old crocheted lace here, and I put down some little wool pennies, and then I found these are old crystal buttons, and I just like those. I thought they were kind of cute, kind of like almost like Christmas lights in a primitive fashion. And I added some little hearts, and these aren't old. I just put some little ink. I inked them a little bit with some antique linen distress ink, and put those on. Just tacked them down, and tacked down with some red floss this very old lace on the sides of the house. And at the bottom I used a strip of ribbon and some old tatting. And up here, this is a Tim Holtz flash card, and I did cheat a little. I used a feather stitch on my machine and stitched that down and just inked it with the red ink, and that was it. So that's my primitive gingerbread house. The next theme was a vintage scene. So I haven't finished that, but I've at least gotten started, and I thought I would show you how I kind of do that. First thing I like to do is find something that motivates me, something that inspires me. So I look for a picture, and the first thing I did was I went on my computer and I looked in my picture folder to see if I had any vintage Christmas scenes that really spoke to me. There was one or two, but just didn't get me going. So then I looked at Graphics Fairy, and I looked in Pinterest. Nothing really hit me. So then I remembered I had this tea-dyed ribbon. I can't remember who. I think it might be Susan Wingett. Is it Wingett fabric? And this, I was tea dyed, and I really loved the little country church. And I thought, you know, I love those colors. It looks kind of old, and that's going to be my main scene. So this ribbon came in what was I tore it, thank you. Tore it. I didn't cut it, I tore it. And then I put it down on my fabric, my base piece. I just love working with this mustard linen. And then I tried some fabrics that I had. I love this fabric. This is a Tim Holtz fabric. Haven't used that, but I love it. But I didn't think it was primitive enough. I have this fabric that I love, but again, that just clashes. No. And then I pulled out my good old log cabin quilt blocks, and I really, really love that. That one, and there was one other one, this one. I just loved how that went together. However, I couldn't bring myself to cut it. I just don't want to cut that. I know that really looks nice, but I just love these blocks so much, and I'm just not ready to cut them yet. At some point, probably will, but right now, I'm keeping them as they are. So then I thought, well, I wanted my little steeple to have the point. So I took another piece of this ribbon and I just cut out the steeple. So that's going to go there. And then I took the fabric, same ribbon, and I just love those sheep. So I thought, I move this up some. Why not just connect it like that? And it kind of looks like I'll sew this, hand stitch this together, and sew that so that it looks like it's a little bridge in front of the church with the little sheep underneath of it and these little houses in the foreground. And then up at the top, I was thinking, I still had little strips here. So I was thinking, well, I could here it is. There was like a little piece here, but it's kind of like a stone gate, but I didn't think that looked quite right there. So then I thought, well, why not just try to find some more sky like it is here with the trees. So I just used the same ribbon again, and I think what I'm going to do is put this behind this, and that will become my sky. And put my little steeple back on. And I think that kind of looks nice. So that's where I am right now. Down at the bottom I might put maybe a green piece here, or I could even just take, I could take like the back side of one of these and put that down. Maybe something like that at the bottom. Can you see that? So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to piece it together, and that will be my Christmas scene. And then I'll just do some stitching and go from there. So that's my plan. And then the next one has already been announced by Rachel and Sarah, and it's a Christmas bird, which I'm really looking forward to doing. So I think I don't know, there's so many birds that I love. I was thinking of a cardinal because they're so beautiful at Christmas. But then I thought, well, that's just so common. Then I thought, I love the English robin, but that's extremely common too. Not that it matters, you know. But the English robin really does speak to me. When I was over in London 3 years ago, I went to Kew Gardens and there was a little robin in a holly bush. And as I walked by, it just sang so loudly and strongly, and it was looking right at me, and I had to stop and just listen. It was so beautiful. I had never seen or heard an English robin before. We have the common robins here in the States, and you know, they're bigger. They're bigger than an English robin, and they have a bigger red chest, and they don't look much like the English robin, really. The English robin is more on the size of a chickadee, maybe a little bit bigger. So I was just fascinated. So I think I will probably end up doing an English robin. But that's about it for today. I just wanted to, this is kind of what an English robin looks like. I have this stamp similar to this. If you haven't seen one, but I'm sure you have. They're very common and loved, so loved. But anyway, I hope to see you the next time. Stay safe, take care, and thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.